On this week's episode, we talk about the NFL's new playoff overtime rule, March Madness, and the upcoming Masters tournament. Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 13, season 2 of Points of Penalties. For all our listeners, we'd like to remind you, please subscribe wherever you get your podcast. For our viewers on YouTube, please be sure to subscribe to our channel by clicking the PMP button in the bottom right corner of this video, right about here. And no matter how you check out PMP, give us a like and follow on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Points Penalties. You guys know me. Once again, I'm Josh. With my co-hosts, Kevin and Jesse. Our boy Peter's away today because he's on his way back to Ontario. So without further ado, Kev, let's start up with you. What are you drinking tonight?
Well, just because of the Masters, I've found myself an absolute green, beautiful looking bottle.
That's a can.
Can.
Challenge.
Can. I also got it too because of the camping that we like to do. It's got a big log in the middle of it. It's a Woodhouse Brewing Company. It's a double IPA at a 7.8%. Crack this sucker open.
Yeah, I had that one this year already, I'm pretty sure, recently.
Oh, I like it. That's good. Good beer. Jesse, what you having?
So I went local again here, boys, here in Stratford, went back to job site. This one is called Awkward Moments IPA, and it's got a plumber crack right on it.
Oh, nice.
So it's a extra strong West Coast double IPA, and the amount was 9.1.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Fuck. Well,
so I got you beat.
Good thing I didn't bust out the fucking big boys today.
Yeah, so it's a small boy. I got 3 of them, so I will be drinking all of them for sure. And I'm gonna give it a try right now. Well, that's fruity. That's really fruity. It's good. It's a good start, but I just didn't expect it to be fruity. Guess that's the point of West Coast.
Is it fruity?
There you go.
Yosh, what are you drinking?
All right, guys. I went local today as well, which I try and typically do in Cambridge today. So we are drinking some Wavemaker Craft Brewing and Tap Room. So I've had a little 6-pack that was all multiple different varieties of beer. So although I do not have the same beer twice, I have 2 different ones from the same brewery. So the first one here, which I'm going to drink probably at halftime, is a 5.4% unfiltered lager, just a regular old lager, nothing crazy here. Definitely part of the bitch beer. And then the other one that I'm going to have to start the show here is a Warrior Kivik IPA with Amarillo Mosaic and Idaho 7 hops. It is a 6.3, so it's a little stronger. You average mine out there at 5.85. It's still the bitch beer, no problem. I don't mind close. It. No. Like I said, I'm glad I didn't bust out the heavier ones because I still would have got beat. So anyway, I'm gonna crack this open and see how she tastes. One's good. It's a little bit citrusy, but not too much. It's tasty. Hopefully I don't spill all over myself because the can's a little dented here. But so if you see me a little dribble here, it's not because I'm drunk or anything. It's because of the can.
Yeah, nice beer stain on the white shirt.
That's right. So Jess, you have a great hat on. It's a little dirty.
Yeah, it's a little filthy.
But it's a nice looking hat. Just like mine.
Yeah, I don't keep mine in pristine. Well, I wear them constantly too, so.
Fair enough. This one here is a vintage 2016 playoff hat, so I barely ever wear it. And if I do, it's like indoors, so it doesn't get dirty. But anyway, so for those of you who can't see us or listening up, we both have Jay's hats on, and just wanted to give Jay's a shout out for his Blue Jay hat. And I guess Kev there, he's sporting his.
He didn't get the memo.
No, he didn't get the Blue Jay memo, but he did get the Maple Leaf blue, the blue in Toronto memo, and he's wearing a Jack Campbell jersey. Jack Campbell, good stuff. He's
Yeah,
back.
good
right?
start. Yeah,
Is he
man.
back?
Won. And he
Mhm.
won.
I'm gonna need him. All right, guys. You remember the Buffalo Bills and the KC Chiefs last year in overtime playoffs?
I do.
We
That's some
sure saw a
bullshit.
short playoffs for sure.
Mhm,
Or
mhm.
overtime, I guess. There.
Yeah, overtime. Well, looks like overtime's going to change a bit in the playoffs. Why don't you tell us about it, Jess?
Yeah. So the rule came down that they are going to do only in the playoffs is both teams will receive a possession no matter what. There was also another one too that was for a playoff OT. Another different rule would be uh, the team has to score a touchdown and then plus a 2-point conversion, and they automatically win overtime. But that was kiboshed for both teams getting a possession, and I think like it was pretty. It wasn't unanimous, but it was like pretty. Everyone wanted this for this to happen, so it's great. I think it's great at least, but I'm just curious how you guys are feeling about that.
Fucking right. About time. I mean, you stripped the ball out of Buffalo's hands that had a great opportunity of doing something to nothing. I just think that should have changed long ago. It's happy to see it finally being changed. Good for the NFL. About fucking time, boys.
Yeah, I agree. It definitely needed to be changed. There was, many games over, the past handful of years that, had to end this way. And it's a bad way to end a game, in my opinion, because essentially if you have a good offense like you did in that game, the KC Buffalo game, as soon as you win the coin toss, you're pretty well going to win the overtime game. And it wouldn't have mattered if Buffalo would have got the coin toss, they probably would have went down and won the game just because they have that good of an offense as well. So if you
Especially
are
for all those points that were scored at the end of the game in
exactly
the last 2 minutes.
exactly. So I really think that this is a good idea. Like you said, Kev, it is about time. I'm not sure how this lasted so long, with only the potential of one possession, but it is nice to see that that they've gone to change this, and I'm glad it was this way. The 2-point conversion thing you're mentioning, Jess, is kind of cool, but it's still, again, if you still have a top end offense, you still have probably a 75% chance to win, even by having to put in that extra 2 points. So
I mean, like it's definitely harder to do the 2-point conversion
for sure.
So it wasn't a bad idea, and I thought they were going to go that way because I've been so against this, the 2 possessions. But apparently that just changed, right? Like in OT, it's since 2010, the winners who win the coin toss at the beginning are 10-2, and the only 2 games that have gone differently was it happened the week afterwards in the AFC Championship, where Mahomes threw an interception, and then they kicked the field. Cincinnati kicked a field goal to win it.
Yep.
And then the other one was the Rams when they did it with the pass interference call, which these rules change because of these huge game changing plays that happen. So now the pass interference challenge did not go well with a lot of people because they were so judgmental, and they were, personally for me, I thought New York was trying to protect their refs a lot and not calling the exact thing that should have been called. They were trying to protect them and see what they saw in real time. That's not the point of replay to me, is to just get the call right. But
You're right. Yeah.
It is what it is. But yeah, they won't be switching it in regular season. And this is because this is a lot closer to 50-50 scoring off the beginning. And as we've seen, there's been like ties almost for every year for the last little bit. So there's lots of opportunity for people to be scoring in OT in the regular season.
Even and like you said, in the regular season, they're a tie going into overtime doesn't necessarily, in the playoffs, it's top end teams, right?
Right.
In the regular
usually
season,
have a top end offense.
Exactly. And so the other, regular season, you could get the Lions and the Jags and just finish the game at a tie. Like, we don't need to see, go over and over and over and on and on and on, right? So, but I do think, like I said, I think it's good, and hopefully not that there's any other major rule changes that need to happen, but hopefully they kind of use this as a stepping stone for some of the things that are a little bit out of whack. And maybe in the future they could change some stuff out. Like I said, not that there's anything crazy that comes to mind, but just being able to change some of this now, like I said, is a stepping stone to change something else in the future, and that's always a good thing. Unlike the good old boys of baseball where they barely change anything. Now, although that being said, they have really turned a corner in the last 2 years, but
well, they've taken a lot of flack too, and they've
Right.
seen how popular changing of certain rules have been, even for the NHL.
Yep.
That like we always talk about rules being changed there too.
Mhm.
A lot of people are for this to make the game better.
Yep. So overall, I love it. I think it's great, and hopefully the Buffalo Bills don't have to get into overtime in the playoffs this year. But if they do, at least they get a possession.
So there's other one thing I want to talk about too. Obviously, huge news was Brady coming back from retirement after a short-lived retirement. And then all of a sudden now Bruce Arians is stepping down. And so this is happening. He's retiring. He's taking like a front office job. He doesn't even know what he's going to be doing there. At least that's what he said in his press conference. And Todd Bowles is taking over as head coach. Now, there was rumors during the season that they weren't getting along, him and Brady and Arians. And there's a rumor that he would come into the game plan that Leftwich and Brady had come up with and pretty much put a red pencil or a red pen through it and changed it. So it's hard to argue like who's wrong and who's right, because as soon as Brady has come to Arians' offense, like he's been putting up mad numbers, like crazy numbers. Nothing that he would like besides that one season when he had Randy Moss, like he wasn't putting up these crazy numbers here. So my question to you guys is, do you think Brady pushed out Bruce Arians because he was only gone for a couple of weeks?
No, I don't think so. I think see, we're talking a lot about the new head coaching hires and this, that, and the other thing, and we couldn't believe that Todd Bowles wasn't getting even interviews, and he said that he was going to stick around, and which was fine. You're on a pretty good team, you have a good chance to make the playoffs and to potentially go, semi-far in the playoffs. So it kind of made sense that way. But after Arians stepped down, it made even more sense and why he wasn't going out for these interviews and whatnot and turning down other teams, because he probably knew that he was going to be the next guy up. And I think that they already knew this before. They just weren't telling anybody, especially with the Brady 42-day retirement. I think there was enough media coverage and whatnot around Tampa. I think that they just wanted to sit back and let this play out how it did, and then go ahead and then Arians come out and say that he's going to step down. Now, from what Arians said, he said he's always looking out for his coaches, his players. They're like family to him type thing, and he would rather step down, take that front office position, and then still see the team succeed, as opposed to losing Todd Bowles and losing maybe some other guys coach wise, and then not being as good the following year. Obviously, Arians can still have he's not going to have a say per se in the game, day-to-day game, but if he's in the front office, he's still a good coach. I guarantee you, Todd Bowles says,
but
"Hey, bud."
If he's in the front office, he ain't coaching.
No, but I mean, on off days and whatnot, you pick up the phone and you say, "Hey, Bruce, like, what do you do here? Or what give me your thoughts on this particular instance or this scenario," right? So he's still in the in the franchise and whatnot, and I just feel like I feel like this was planned. Really, so I don't think that Brady pushed him out.
No conspiracy theory there. What about you, Kev?
I think he did.
I do. There we go.
I honestly do think he did. I mean, to me, it kind of feels like you're like a LeBron James kind of deal. I'm the guy. You're just this pawn sitting over here, but I'm the actual dude that's calling the shots. And I think that's why he left. I mean, Brady's Brady.
Brady's Brady. So I don't know. There's a lot of rumors swirling here. It's just funny, his press conference and just him saying that he's like, I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing, but we'll figure that out soon. Like, it just seems weird that he was like pushed out, and then there was all these rumors beforehand. And he said he would welcome back Tom Brady with open arms, but he ends up not being there. But there were reasonings to say if Brady was retiring, he was going to retire as well before the season even ended. So it's all up in the air. For me, yeah, I think it's nothing to do with this. They planned this for this to get him back, and then he was gonna set up Todd Bowles to be a good coach with a really good successor, and they got tons of parts beside him. And I think it's gonna be. This rumor is not correct at all. I just thought it was kind of funny with him just stepping down like this, because this is strange. Like, this has been a crazy off season for the NFL, and then this to happen is just wild. So with Bruce Arians going to front office and Todd Bowles taking over, you obviously got Leftwich there on the offense. The Rams just signed Bobby Wagner. Huge deal. Oh, I'm pumped about that. It is awesome. Rich get richer, right?
Yeah.
And they have a lot of in the power rankings, or even just people thinking that the Rams aren't the best team in the NFC. Do you guys think that it's the Bucs or the Rams in the NFC?
Your head, I just need a pin to, man. I'm gonna say the Bucks, just to pop your little.
It doesn't bother me, man. I already know. I'll keep shutting for the moon. Happened all last year for me. Everything was good for me. We had a bad November. That's about it.
That's a tough question. I think that they're both top end talented teams. I will say I gotta say that the Rams are probably the better team. Just because they still have, they still have the same coach. They still have everything is the same. They've lost a few guys.
They lost a few, but they also added the best wide receiver in the free agency, and then they also just got Bobby Wagner, who you could argue was one of the best defensive players besides Vaughn.
Yeah. For sure. I just think there's going to be a learning curve for Todd Bowles and the Tampa Bay Bucks, and I think that's going to be the difference there.
You don't know about a curve, man. You got Brady. Was there a curve for?
Well, it's the head coaching curve.
Yeah, but you don't have to worry about that. Brady's in the fucking QB.
Sure you do, man. Brady doesn't do anything with the defense.
Yeah, but this is also not Todd Bowles' first head coaching job.
No,
right?
But still, I just feel. I'll go out on a limb and say that the Rams ended up with a better record than Tampa does next year.
That's what I like to hear, Yosh.
Sure I don't like to say it.
But. Just to pile on to that too. You also have to remember is Bruce Arians has coached some really good quarterbacks. Like he had Luck. He coached Luck. He coached Ben Roethlisberger. He coached Peyton Manning. Like he's coached Carson Palmer. Like he's coached a lot of good quarterbacks, and obviously Tom Brady. Mm-hmm. He also ends up being like the oldest Super Bowl winner as well. So losing him is huge, I think even if this is true that he changed the game plan, it was always for the better for the most part, I would think. I like Leftwich as a play caller a lot, and I'm not a huge fan of Bruce Arians. Like he bugs me. He's always said a lot of bad shit about the Rams to begin with because he was with the Cardinals, but he says a lot of stuff that is just like it infuriates me, but I still think he is a very valuable coach. And he also got Jameis Winston to look good, even though he threw a bunch of interceptions, but he still managed to make them look good. Well, that's what I'm feeling on what's going on in the NFC, because these are the two big news that happened.
Do you think anything part of this? Do you think any of this maybe had anything to do with the whole Antonio Brown thing? Because we that finished off, and then that was it, right? Like we have heard nothing since about Antonio Brown and this whole situation of who he said, she said, because it was definitely a he said, she said argument between Arians and Antonio. So but we got nothing out of it. Like there was never any solid answer to see who was saying the right shit and who wasn't. So,
Well, he's also saying some wild stuff now. He's not getting surgery on his ankle until someone signs him to a contract.
good luck with that.
So it's like what? Like so you don't want to get in rehab, you don't want to start working out. Like it's pretty much he wants to skip training camp is what I'm seeing. Right? He wants to get that surgery done like halfway through, maybe not halfway through the summer, but halfway through spring, and then so he can rehab and get back out there and be ready for week 1. But what happened, he took his shirt off and ran across the field. Should have been a penalty, wasn't. It was weird, and I think with the way that Bruce Arians talks, he's a straight shooter. He tells it how it is. And with AB, you don't know where it's coming from.
That's true.
But that's all I got for the NFL. Why don't we dribble on to the minor leagues of basketball?
The minor leagues. Well, we're not going to the G League, but
I
we're going to talk about the NCAA.
I guess that would be the minor leagues. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I should challenge. Fuck. Anyway, NCAA basketball. Obviously, March Madness. Both the men's and women's tournaments are coming to a close. The women's tournament, the final game, national title, is tonight, and it is actually just starting. And it's between the Connecticut Huskies and the South Carolina Gamecocks. I just like to repeat that it was the South Carolina Gamecocks, just using an excuse to say cock on the show. So I went through Bet365 has got the Gamecocks. I said the Gamecocks at minus 200 favorites. Now we had said last year that we were going to watch more games this year, and I did watch a bunch of women's NCAA games throughout the regular season type thing. Maybe not a bunch, but I watched some. I did watch some throughout the tournament, but we once again forgot to put a bracket together for the women's tournament
next year.
Yeah, we'll just have to remember. See, our issue this year was I always thought it was like a couple weeks after the men's tournament, but it basically it's like a couple days after when it starts. So that's where I got confused. So I thought we had lots of extra time, but we don't, or we didn't.
There's a lot of people campaigning that want it at a different time.
It should be at a different time,
so that everyone can watch it.
Yeah, it really should be, because if there's
you're taking away from
game
it.
on, yeah, if there's a men's game on, doesn't matter who it is, you're likely watching the men's game over the women's game if it's like the same round game, right? So obviously, if it was the championship, you might watch the women's game over a men's round of 64 game, but they definitely need to split it up for sure. So if we were to do a bracket, I would have chose UConn to win the whole thing. Now, I'm not just saying that because they're in the finals. I like Paige Beckers. I think she is a great basketball player. She has signed one of the largest nil contracts that we've seen, especially for a female athlete, and she's using it for a good cause as well. She's donating a lot of the money to causes to help girls come up through the ranks and play, to get into the NCAA here and help. Obviously, the whole point is to eventually get to the WNBA. So that's who I would have taken. I would have been pretty happy to see them at this point, especially if I picked it at the beginning of the tournament. So I'd like to know who you guys would have taken at the beginning of the tournament. And then now that there's only two left, UConn and South Carolina, who do you got in tonight's game?
Well, I'm taking the Huskies, but I mean, I wouldn't have taken the Gamecocks. I mean, maybe I might have because of the fact that you said, Josh, you just take the fact of saying Cox. So putting them on there, I mean, I don't know. But I think the Huskies are going to do it.
So from the start of the tournament, I don't have much knowledge on the female NCAA, but I did watch the Gamecocks on Friday night, the first half, and they were mean. They were awesome against Louisville. It was awesome to watch. So I would have definitely probably picked them just for their name, like you guys, Gamecocks. But watching them Friday night just own the boards, and they drove to the paint a lot, which was awesome to see. So yeah, I think I would have just picked them probably because of the name, and then after what I saw against Louisville, I'm gonna say that they're gonna win.
So there you go.
I will definitely take those odds too. Thank you.
Well, I ended up putting a couple bets together today for both these. I did a little 2-gamer parlay. So I took UConn, and then I took we're going to talk about shortly on the men's side. I took UNC on that parlay. It's not a huge payout, but it'd be cool to make some money on both champions. Now on the men's side, let's not hope. Well, let's not float Jesse's boat too much here. But on the men's side, which happens Monday evening,
keep this streak up.
On Monday evening, the final game is between the Kansas Jayhawks and the North Carolina Tar Heels. Both teams have played really well throughout the entire tournament. Kansas has averaged 70 some odd points per game, while UNC has averaged just over 80 per game. So UNC is scoring more. Kansas has not more talent, but they have more experience. They have a lot of guys. Their top 8 scorers have played something like 900 plus college games, and that's a lot. That's a lot of experience, and the experience has showed. They've been in some close games, and they've still come out to win. They've got a few big guys that are pretty fucking talented, and they will definitely be in the pros in the very near future. Now, Bet365 says that the Kansas Jayhawks are minus 192 favorites. Obviously, Jesse likes that, as he took them to win the whole thing in his bracket. So Jesse did take Kansas at the beginning of the tournament. Peter took Gonzaga. Kev, you took Arkansas, and I had Arizona. Obviously, Kansas is the only one out of those 4 left. So, yes, Jess, I know you are 100% still on the Kansas bandwagon here.
Hey, I called it from the beginning before we even put this bracket together. I was like, I said Kansas is gonna win.
Well, whatever. You're still on the bandwagon. So,
just like I was on the Rams bandwagon.
That's right. That's right. And the Braves. So I don't even need to ask you because I know you're gonna say Kansas, but. So, Kev, now that Arkansas is out and you saw them, you saw your boys get beat, who do you got in these two teams? You got Jordan's UNC?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah,
it's Jordan right away. I mean, when you said Jordan's UNC, yep, I'm in. I mean, I love that, the powder blue anyways. I mean, it's a good color, nice color.
You and Peter in the powder baby blue crap.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm going North Carolina.
Yeah, I'm taking UNC as well. They have, just with the average scoring, I feel like they're just going to keep putting up numbers. Caleb Love has been phenomenal, and another guy his name is Baycott, and he's been really good as well. He had a little injury at the end of the last game there. He kind of twisted an ankle. He stepped on somebody's foot and turned his ankle, but he was off for a few minutes.
That's what tape's for, man. That's what tape's for.
So. And he did say that he's ready to go for the final, which obviously you're not going to sit out the final if you can even remotely walk. So, and there was a couple big surprises this year, and maybe it's the same game was the biggest surprise. But for you guys, what was this year's biggest surprise in the men's tournament?
St. Peter's. That was wild, man.
Yeah, that was quite the showing.
Beating Kentucky. I forget the next team that they beat. Man, like that's impressive that they were able to do that. They were 15 seed against Kentucky for the second.
Yep.
Man, that was wild. That is awesome to see, and that's what makes this bracket or NCAA madness or March Madness so good and so fun to watch.
That makes you never know where those Cinderella people can come through, right?
And it's every year something like this happens. So it's great to see, and I like that it was from this small of school because I have never heard of these guys before in the tournament.
Yeah, so St. Peter's beat Kentucky, and then they went on to beat Murray State. And then did they beat Purdue? I think they beat Purdue, and then that was it. Then they lost. But either way, that is definitely one of the big ones. The other one for me would have been, I mean, obviously because I chose Arizona, that's a big loss to lose out in the Sweet 16. But I think Gonzaga is even more of a surprise that they lost out. So between Gonzaga being the number 1 seed, losing out early, and then
What about
Kentucky,
the other first one? What about the other number 1 team that was also punked out pretty quick?
Baylor,
Baylor, yeah, that
reigning
would
champs.
that would have been mine.
Well, I mean, yeah, there's Baylor. There's, like you said, there's Arizona was the number 1, was bounced. You know, now Arizona was bounced by a pretty good Houston team, so that wasn't too surprising there. Just that it was a number 1 gone. But yeah, lots of surprises, and like you said, just that's what the best part about this tournament is there's always a Cinderella, there's always upsets, there's always something going on crazy, and it definitely makes it interesting, whether you follow it or not throughout the season, and to just walk in, even if we're not massive NCAA basketball fans throughout the year, but as soon as it starts getting closer to March Madness, I know I start following a little bit more, watching a little bit more games, and then as soon as that tournament starts, especially for the first 2 days, because it's just nonstop basketball, it's awesome. I just love it. That's one of my favorite times in sports for sure. So.
Yeah, mine would have been the Baylor big upset. I mean, wow.
I mean, that's a big one too, right? Like you said, defending champs. Like
that's unbelievable. When I heard, when they were gone, I was like, "Holy fuck, you kidding?" From champs to chumps. Wow.
I'm pretty sure I had them losing to UCLA and going on into the Final Four. Obviously, that didn't happen. North Carolina got them, and now they're in the finals. So
it's funny because I like UNC, so I would, if I'm just betting with my heart, I would have put them in the Final Four typically, right? But I was like, I'm gonna use my brain this time instead of my heart.
Shouldn't have been doing that, man.
I know. I'll look
using your brain.
What a loser. All right, guys, we got one more thing to talk about here within March Madness and NCAA basketball, and it's going to come up in just a second. This week's Points and Penalties MVP is none other than former Duke head coach, Coach K, Mike Krasinski. He finishes his legendary career with a loss in the Final Four of this year's March Madness tournament to the aforementioned University of North Carolina. Now, the Duke-UNC rivalry is one of, if not the best rivalry in men's NCAA basketball history, especially with Krasinski, and I cannot remember the former UNC coach's name, but he's an older dude. He was at all the games, like just sitting as a fan. So that between those two coaches, I should have looked that guy's name up, but that was not on my MO today. But that rivalry between those two head coaches and those two teams, absolutely insane. So many close games over the years, obviously way more games than I could ever, even fathom, just with the age of myself compared to these coaches and these schools. So, although it was Coach K's last game, that Final Four game, it did not disappoint. 70,000 plus fans watching a great game with 18 different lead changes. In the end, UNC's Caleb Love was too strong. He nailed a clutch 3-pointer and then some late free throws to ice the game. Coach K's career comes to a close with 5 national championships, 9 appearances in the championship game, and 13 Final Four appearances, which is just unheard of. That is a lot of good basketball. He has a career record of 1,129 wins, 309 losses, which gives him a 785 win percentage, which again blows my mind. That is super high.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's huge.
He's won 16 different Coach of the Year awards from different entities, from the ACC Coach of the Year to the TSN Coach of the Year to the CBS Coach of the Year, all that type of good stuff. Some obviously more prestigious than others, because I don't think he really cares that he was the TSN Coach of the Year, but those ACC Coach of the Year awards were pretty good. So he was 47 years as a head coach. 42 of them were with Duke. And the first 5 he was the coach for Army. And it's just crazy. Like, I mean, his retirement isn't crazy. We knew it was going to happen. He had said early, I believe preseason, this was going to be his last season, and you could just tell throughout the tournament with Duke playing, and they had a purpose, and they really want to get to the Final Four. I'm sure they wanted to get to the finals and win. For Coach K, because how cool of a send-off would that be to retire a champion? Obviously, as I mentioned, UNC was just a little too strong for them in the long run, but just absolute greatness from Coach K all throughout his years. I don't know, there's probably many different things that you could remember about Coach K and some of the big things that he's done over the years. But what do you guys, what will you remember about Coach K the most? What is your gut feeling on this guy and how his legacy will be remembered in your mind?
The Olympics, man. I mean, he brought the USA and brought them back to a winning game and won 2 gold medals with the USA team.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome for him. Like, he's getting those gold medals, but
you know what? I'm going to challenge you, Kev. I'm going to challenge you on the Olympic medals. How many do you say he has?
2.
My gut feeling says 1, but I'm going to go crazy and I can say it's 3. I don't know. I don't know why. We need a challenge, but I don't know. For some reason, I think it's more than 2, even though I kind of feel like I'm going to be wrong and it's going to be 1. Maybe it'll be 2, but I just have a feeling it's either 1 or 3. I don't think it's 2. I don't know what it is.
3 gold medals at 2008, 2012, and 2016.
Nice.
Well, there you go. He's got 3. And then there you go.
3 Olympic gold medals is what it says here.
Bringing them back to glory.
Well, I mean, hey, if you remember 2 of them, Kev, now you can go back and watch the third Olympics. And
I mean, were you thinking with your heart there, Yosh, or your brain there?
I don't know, man. I think
you said down your gut, son.
Yeah.
Like the closest thing is the heart at that point.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, fuck. Oh, that's all right. I like that. I always like getting a +1. Oh, fuck. So for Kev, for you, it's the Olympics and the big W's there. What about you, Jess?
And I'm glad I said gold medals there, and I didn't say a number, so I couldn't get you. But I think the biggest thing is the amount of players that he sent. So he had 42 players in the first round and 28 of them in the lottery picks.
Wow.
So yeah, he's put out some great players there. Obviously that comes with recruiting and also coaching, right? They coached him up to get these spots, to be taken at these spots. So that's one of the biggest things that I'll remember about him. Obviously the 3 golds are huge, but the amount of players that he had spit out in the first round and in the lottery draft picks.
Yeah, can't argue with you on that, man. That's a lot of top end players that he's has come out of his system. A lot of top end players.
Yeah, buddy.
For me, probably 2 things. One, the crazy amount of times that he made it to the NCAA tournament. Like it's got to be, I'm looking at the stats here, it's got to be 80 to 90% of the time that he coached for Duke anyway, making it to the NCAA tournament, which is insane. Like, sure, they might not have been the greatest team that particular year or what have you. Not saying they were, the number one team or whatever, but lots of years he took them to the tournament, and that's what builds a great program. Is good high end coaching and getting into these high end games, which gives these players that you talked about, Jess, that are able to go first round, and it's definitely going to help them in the future in the NBA. The other thing too that I really liked about Coach K and his career was that he would get fired up, and something would happen. He'd get all fired up. He would, he'd lay into you or whatever. But as you came off the court for whatever the timeout, or you were being benched at that time for the sub or whatever, yeah, he might rip you, but then he'll stop and he'll explain to you why. And he was super calm about it. So yes, he's freaking out because that's in the moment, but then it's like a total change of direction, and then it's a learning or a teaching experience for Coach K. He teaches, this is why you need to do this instead of that, and that type of thing. So he always seemed like he was in control of himself emotionally, control of his team emotionally, and that's huge, especially getting into these tournaments where it's a high-end tournament, and you got to be, you can't be up and down. You got to be straight laced. You got to be cruising at
well, it's win or go home, right? So you're gonna freak out on him, and then you're gonna give him some time to think about it, and then you're gonna explain to him what he did wrong and
exactly
fix it.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw some footage with him in regards to doing some practices. He goes, you don't want to pass the ball this way. You want the ball up in the air to pass. You don't need it in your chest. He's just explaining, the best ways of getting rid of the ball in the air. I mean,
which is funny because when you're in school, you're taught about chest passes, right? Like,
yep.
But
they're just trying to make the passes accurate at that point.
Yeah,
they're not
for
worried
sure
about steals.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so Coach K on an absolute elite, legendary career. We hear points and penalties. Gonna cheers you.
I'm definitely cheering.
Yeah,
Coach K.
Cheers, bud.
Cheers. All right, now moving on to our next topic. There are quite a few legends that play in this tournament, and Kev's going to tell us all about it.
Yeah, guys, we're getting ready for the Masters.
On his
Oh,
Jackson glove.
All right, so on today's wardrobe change, Kev went from his Leaf jersey to a polo golf hat with his marker. He's got a golf fucking glove on. You got your what the hell is it called? Your divot. You got your divot marker or divot repair tool in your pocket too. I don't know what you're. I don't know what you're doing
clubs. There's the clubs.
Oh, the clubs are just around the corner from them.
Oh, right there. They were not in the camera.
No, they're not in the camera, but I was shaking them.
I just saw you just shaking. I was like, "What, you have a seizure?"
Yeah, no, shaking up the clubs just so you know they're right there.
No dying on camera there, Kev.
No, not at all, sir. I'll let you guys know to call 911 first. But yes, guys, it is the golf big one. This is like the Stanley Cup for golf, World Series, Super Bowl. This is like the big one. This one's for the green jacket.
Not the gold jacket?
No, it's only green, sir. Now, Hideki Matsuyama will defend his title this year. He is the first male Japanese golfer to win the Masters in 2021. Now we have Roy McIlroy returns to Augusta, looking to complete his career Grand Slam. This is, I think, the only one that he needs to get. Is why it's for his Grand Slam. Now, he was talking on a press conference once before about Tiger Woods actually doing some practice rounds there at Augusta. Doesn't know if he's really going to play, but he thinks, just him being there is huge. I mean, Tiger's a big fucking player for this, man. I mean, when Tiger comes out, people are there to watch. But not saying that if he's not there, I'm sure there's going to be several players that are just as good or that can bring the fans out. Now, the previous winners of the green jacket are given a lifetime to Augusta. So if you've won one, you'll never have to worry about entering or trying to play to get in because you're a lifetime player. Winners of the 3 men's majors receiving 5 years exemption. Winners of the players receives a 3-year exemption. We have those who finished inside the top 12 and tied during the previous year's tournaments are invited back, along with those to finish a share of 4th or better in the PGA Championship, US Open, and the Open. Winners from April 2021 awards the top winners from April 2021 onwards, and the 30 players to reach the PGA Tour's championship will receive a coveted invite. 6 spots are available for amateurs who will tee it up in Augusta as long as they don't turn pro beforehand. And the only ways left to qualify the 2022 Masters are with the victory of this week's Valero Texas Open or by receiving a special invitation. So, guys,
Did you get an invitation this year, Kev, or what?
Oh, buddy, no, I'm too good.
Oh, fuck! Here we go.
Aren't you still on injured reserve?
No, man, I've done one
LTIR.
Yeah. No, I did. I did on the virtual last week, and I'm going again tomorrow in regards to smacking it off the virtual wall. Now, I've left some players here, guys, for you to look at. Players that are trying to get this green jacket. Obviously, there's close to about 98 or close to 88 or more players going into this. So I've color coordinated the green jacket winners already. Yellows in regards to possible favorites. And obviously the reds are our Canadians. Now, if you find some that are multicolored, just because they've won the jacket and they're favored, and so on and so forth. So
unfortunately, our listeners and our viewers can't see this. I don't know if I can put this on as a graphic, but maybe run through some of the favorites so they can.
So we have favorites here of Patrick Catley, Victor Hovland, Brooks Koepka, Dustin Johnson, Roy McIlroy, Colin McGowan, Morikawa, John Rahm, Jordan Spieth, Justin Thomas, Scottie Scheffler. Those are the ones that I saw that were basically put on for your favorites to win. Now, Tiger Woods is in this list. Not saying he's going to be there. He could not. I don't know. But because his name is there, do you guys think that he is playing this year? And who do you guys have to win your green jacket?
By play this year, do you mean play golf this year, period, or play this year's Masters?
This year's Masters, because he's on the list. He's on the list so far as being there. I don't see him playing, but because he's there, I'm just asking, does he play this year? And again, who do you guys have to win your green jacket?
That's a tough one for. If your question was, will Tiger play this year? I 100% think he will play in some tournament this year. Man, will he play this year in the Masters? He has said that he's a game time decision. I would love to see him play. I don't think that he is going to shatter any records. I don't think there's anything, we're not going to see any earth-shattering play out of him if he does. I'm going to say he doesn't play in this. I think he's going to shut it down. I think he's, like you said before, Kevin, it's great that he's there. He's going to bring people in. Everybody loves him, or most at least. And he is golf, right? It's like when you talk about hockey, it's Wayne Gretzky. When you talk about basketball, it's Jordan, Kobe, LeBron. There's a top end guys. Golf is, it's Jack, it's Arnold, and it's Tiger, and that's it for me anyway. It's those, right.
No, for sure. Because I mean, Tigers is only one off from tying the Golden Bear in regards to wins for jackets, for the Green Jacket. Because Golden Bear has 6, Tigers got 5.
Holy moly! Yeah, I'm in Yosha's book here. I do not think he will play in the Masters this year. I could see him. I'm pretty sure I also was part of the when he first got in the accident. I said that he would play again. So play this year. I'd go with that. Yeah. I think he's there to drive ticket sales and viewership, keep everyone guessing
for sure,
to see if he's going to show up or not. And it doesn't make sense for him to play, tell you the truth. Like, I get that he's trying to get back out there, which is always good when you're coming back from a big injury like this from that crash. But it's like you can't rush it, and usually at the Masters you want to play your best. Like even though you're always invited back there after you win, you want to play your best. You don't want to just show up just to. I mean, like, yeah, it's fun to see all your old friends and stuff like that.
He's doing that right now, and he's not playing yet, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah. I don't see him playing. I see him just continue rehabbing, getting that leg stronger for showing up at tournaments where he wants to play and he has a chance of winning.
Yeah, I think the same. I think he's going to work towards getting to the next major. We'll see how he feels after swinging a bunch of clubs, and he's playing some rounds prior to the tournament. To see how he's doing and whether he's going to be at the top end form that needs to be in the Masters. I think moving forward over the next handful of weeks, he's going to get, maybe he even comes in, starts playing next week in a regular old tournament, just not not a Masters, or sorry, not a major. But I think his goal here is probably to play in at least 1 or 2 majors this year, and then again kept to go for that green jacket probably next year to tie Jack. So.
Yeah, I don't think he'll tie Jack, but I mean, I think Jack's going to hold on to that one. I like to see Jack hold on to it. That's my favorite golfer. I don't see Tiger playing in this tournament, even though that he is listed in it. I do see him, like you guys are saying, will be back at some point. I think next year will be his return to the Augusta. The one person that I was shocked that's not playing this year is good old Lefty. Lefty is not playing at all in this year's Masters.
With all the Saudi stuff that he was talking about, and there was all that issue between him and the PGA, it doesn't, he stepped away from golf for a little bit, and I kind of thought he was going to use the Masters as his re-entry back into the PGA and to kind of get back into the swing of things, no pun intended, and to try and get his shit back together and kind of get on back in the good books of golf and the PGA and that type of thing. So I kind of thought that this might be a tournament that he would look to try and get back at, but it is interesting that he's still staying away and not going to come back just yet. So like I said, Kev, it's interesting situation that he's gotten himself into, and
for sure.
And I've always liked lefties, so to see him or not see him in a Masters here, whether he plays good or not, I always like watching him. He's always makes some crazy good shots, and some crazy shots that you'd never think. Maybe not in the Masters, does he do some backwards golfing and whatnot, but he can do some crazy stuff with those irons, and just seeing him on the course is always a cool thing for me. I always like watching him. He's, him and Tiger Woods, right?
Yep.
Like they were battling back and forth back in the day.
That's what you're talking about with like who you think of like the top shelf. Like he's not that, obviously, with Nicholson and Woods, but his brand has made him part of that for the PGA. And when you think of golf, you typically think of Tiger and him. So he's not as good as we know, but it's still you definitely think about him all the time, and him missing this is huge, but maybe he's waiting to make his way back. Like it's kind of a good. That was kind of a good idea that you were talking about, Yosh, like him making his big return. But
No, there's one
maybe-
thing that I read. Sorry to cut you off there, Jesse, but Bryson DeChambeau was in this for the Green Jacket, but from the last article I read with regards to Bryson DeChambeau, that he is going to go to the Saudi. He's going to be their face. Something
that'll
about
make,
$200 million, like $200 million. I think is what he's getting at. It's gross.
So they're paying him just to come and play. I thought I thought the purses were just large.
Purses are large, but they're trying to entice people for their face of the, like, you know, how Tiger Woods is PGA. They're trying to get Bryson DeChambeau as the LIV.
maybe they're just trying to knock Brooks Koepka's game off.
Well, Koepka will fucking love it, right?
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
DeChambeau is going to go to
He's gone.
Saudi, then there's no more
Rival.
nor more button heads. Like
Yeah, just like Tiger and Mickelson. I mean, his nemesis is gone.
Yeah, but they weren't like, they were rivals, but they didn't hate each other.
They were
like,
more friends
personally. Yeah.
Who?
like-
Tiger and Mickelson?
Yeah.
I'll challenge that 100%. They did
I
not
don't know.
like one
How
another
did-
at all. At
Yeah.
all, they did not like one another.
That's tough because that's a lot of personal life to challenge.
That is a personal life challenge, but I mean, they did not like one another at all. They despised one another in regards to playing on, was it the European, with regards to the, you know, USA in the Europes, whatever that matchup was again.
Oh,
Can't
the
recall
Ryder
the name
Cup.
of it. Yeah, the Ryder Cup. I mean, they didn't like one another to be able to play with one another. It's just, yeah. It wasn't more like the Brooks Koepka and Bryson DeChambeau. I mean, I think this Mickelson and Tiger had a little bit more animosity towards one another than them two did.
You think?
I
don't know, man. I don't know if there could be more animosity between those two than there is between Koepka and DeChambeau.
The first thing I Googled, it says it's a love-hate rivalry between the two. So he might be right that there is some hate there, but I think there's like respect, where I don't think there's much respect between DeChambeau and Brooks Koepka.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a whole lot of stuff that just says love, hate, love, hate.
Because when they went to that when they just played against each other, that overtime where they just kept they wanted someone to make a great putt. They didn't want someone to screw up a putt, more or less, right? They just said, like, just take it. Like, there's gimmies and everything like that. Like, they were the judges, right? So that and all just says that I don't really think they hate each other. I think they just want they respect each other, more or less. But who knows? I don't know if we can call this a challenge here on that one.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough one. I'm trying to find something that specifically says, you know, they hated each other, but it's I think they're just saying that it's just the classic rivalry, and you always hate your rival, right? Like,
of course.
Anyways,
yeah.
So who I think I'm gonna win for this, grabbing that green jacket or gold jacket for Happy Gilmore?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Justin Thomas. I thought he was gonna get it. I don't know if it was last year or the year before. He was doing really well, and he missed out. But I think this is his year. I think he had like a great, like he was leading for most of it, and then he just fell apart in the fourth round. But that's who I'm going with.
Justin Thomas. Okay, I am gonna take John Rahm. I think he's been great this year. He has missed a couple putts that he definitely needed to make, but on this big stage, I think he's gonna pull it out and get the W here. And if I get a second pick, I'm gonna take Jordan Spieth.
Second pick.
Yeah, I think Jordan Spieth is gonna have a good tournament as well. I don't think he's necessarily gonna win.
You're going all
Well, yeah,
Fucking
look,
Pedro on us with conditionals here.
Yeah.
No.
Once you take them all.
I still think Rahm is going to win, but I think Jordan Spieth is going to have a hell of a tournament.
Jordan Spieth has been playing like shit lately, man. How do you miss 2 foot putts? 2-foot putt. I mean, he's done it several times, or even the last. I mean, this one that's going on now, they're sitting there saying he's better get his shit in gear, or he ain't gonna do shit in this green jacket.
I mean, that's fair. He is, he's top 10 by the looks of things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, top 10 in terms of odds from Bet365. So he's at plus 2,200 to win. Justin Thomas, he is tied with number 2 at plus 1,400 to win.
And I'm taking Roy. I mean, Roy definitely needs one. I mean, this is the last thing he needs to win.
So Rory is top 6 with he's a plus 1,800. Looks like John Rahm is the favorite at plus 1,100, but I don't even care that he's the favorite. I just feel like he's played some good golf this year, and he's held on to that number 1 spot a lot in the past calendar year here. And who's the guy that just won recently? He looks like fucking Joe Dierte. That's Scottie Scheffler, right?
Who won that? What?
Like I can't remember that. Was it the Players? I think he won the Players Championship. He just recently, the last was. I'm pretty sure he's got fucking like a mullet. The guy, Scotty. I'm pretty sure it's Scotty.
Yeah, I know you're talking about now.
So he is, he's another one of those guys that are projected to do well. He's a plus 1,600. I couldn't pick him because of his fucking mullet. I just couldn't do it, man. Couldn't do it. But that'll be interesting to see.
And we'll know by next week.
We should, yeah. Unless there's random weather or something, but yeah.
We were just you're talking about the lines there, Peter. Yosh.
Challenge.
So I was looking at this other one, and first is John Rahm, and it's a sports line. John Rahm, sorry, and the next guy is Jordan Spieth.
Oh, really? Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then Justin Thomas 4th, and Roy McIlroy is 5th. So.
Yeah, man, we got some pretty close ones.
I was like the odds that when you were spitting those out, I was like, huh. Seems like you just picked the top 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Like I said, like
you're
is at plus
Rahm.
22. Yeah, I got Rahm. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Another guy who might do well, and like I said, I'm not saying he's gonna win, but Morikawa, I think he's gonna have a pretty good tournament too.
Oh well, for sure he will.
He's number 3 on this one.
Is he?
Yeah, you're just going through the top guys.
No, man. On fucking Bet365, he's like the 7th guy. So
I mean, it's very hard to repeat, but it's definitely doable.
No, you're thinking the other guy. You're thinking Morikawa is not Japanese. He's American. It's right. Oh man, what the hell's the other guy's name? Matsuyama. He's the guy that won last year. Yeah,
so that's right.
So won't be going back to back. Yeah.
Well, no, let's kind of hope that we don't have a repeat of Fuzzy Zeller when Tiger won the first time, because we don't know if he's going to put Sushi out for dinner or whatever, right? Because when Tiger won the first time, we all know what Fuzzy Zeller said.
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember exactly.
I don't want to say it,
was,
but it was pretty bad, and that's why they stripped him of all his sponsors and everything. And Fuzzy Zeller went from this to that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you can't be racist, man.
No.
End of story.
End of story. But we're gonna get into some little quick time here, guys, in regards to Austin Matthews.
Yeah, Toronto sports. We've got some big news in every in every major sport in Toronto.
Unbelievable, hey guys. I mean, scores 50. Granted, it was an empty net. He didn't like that it was an empty net goal for his 50th, but he did pop one to actually make 51. So with 14 games left here, guys, will he reach 60 for the season?
I think he does, 100%. He's on a 12-goal pace for every 10 games that he's put in. So I think he does.
When? Like was that after just the last 12 games?
I don't know. I was reading some article and it said that. So I'm just going to go with that. I just think he will. He's been great. I just feel like he's got 9 to go in 14 games. I just think it's easy. I think he's just gonna keep putting pucks in the net, and he's gonna hit 60, and that'll be fucking pretty amazing. I have no idea who the last Leaf to do 60 was, if anybody has ever done it.
I don't think a Leaf has done 60, to be purely honest. I think the highest one is 55. And I mean,
that's a lot lower than I thought. I thought that would be closer. Challenge.
Sounds
maybe?
like you might want to challenge.
I just don't know who else to name. I don't know if the Leafs good enough. That's the problem.
no, I
See,
think that
if
the
Pete
last
was
one,
here, he probably would have challenged.
I know, but like to not
But-
to no one actually making 60 is especially like when everyone was scoring, like, and your boy Sittler, like he never got there.
sorry,
Yeah,
he didn't even. I don't even think Sittler even had a 50-goal season.
He's garbage then.
One of the greatest captains you were
I'm
ever
joking.
talking
Man.
about.
I'm joking. I'm totally joking.
I mean,
know.
look, maybe did Rick Vive maybe do it? Him, or
Rick
maybe
Vive, I think
maybe
Rick
his son
Vive
Dean?
did it. I think Rick Vive did it three or four times. Rick Vive has scored 50, and then it goes
Right.
Clark, and then it goes Anderchuk.
Yeah, I'm
But
thinking like
the
to get
55,
60.
the 55, believe was a Vive. Rick Vive had 55. I mean, Anderchuk and them had, I think it was like 53 or 51. But I don't see Austin doing 60. I mean, he'll do. I think I say he has 56 by the end.
You think he gets the top the most from
Yeah.
your knowledge?
Yeah.
Well, I'm the Leaf hater here, so I don't think he's gonna get there. And I think I'm pretty sure I picked someone else to win the Rocket Richard. I honestly can't remember.
I
But
think you took. Did you take Draisaitl?
oh yeah, I probably did. I probably went with him, Draisaitl, and then I went with McDavid as the MVP. Anyway, yeah, I don't think he makes it just because I'm a hater.
Yeah, I think he does, and
It'd be neat to see, like, with the suspension that he received, the 2 games plus the
Injury that he didn't play for
Couple-
at least 5 games or whatever
yeah,
it was.
yeah, a couple games that he missed at the beginning of the year. Like he probably could have gotten it,
yeah, I mean,
especially on the pace that Yosh just said.
I still think he's gonna do it. So I'm looking at all time. So he is 4th on the all-time list right now. He's tied with Rick Vive from 82-83 with 51 goals. Next up is Rick Vive in 83-84 with 52 goals. Next up would be Dave Anderchuk in 93-94 with 53 goals. And the last top goal scorer per season ever, 1981-82, Rick Vive had 54. So
there was a challenge.
there was definitely a challenge because you kept saying Wendell Clark and he hasn't hit 50. So
Sure, Wendy didn't hit a 50.
I'm looking at it right now, 46.
Oh,
Yep. But I think he does it. I think it's he's going to be the all-time season Leaf scorer, like single season Leaf scorer of all time. That's going to be easy. That's 3 goals to tie it, and I guarantee you he hits 60. Boom.
bang.
Hot take or some shit.
It's a hot take.
Lukewarm take. Yeah, that's where I go from there.
No, I'm not sure what time we have left here, guys, but I'm just going to roll into this one either, or just because Kyle Lowry returns to Toronto for the first time since last season. Have you guys changed your mind about the GOAT yet?
Well, first off, it was a question for me to ask you guys because I have always been on the Kyle Lowry GROAT bandwagon there, the greatest Raptor of all time. You guys are, I believe you both said that VC was the
Canada for sure,
yeah.
man.
And so, now you've seen it's been a whole season with Kyle away, or just about a whole season. Have you?
Yeah, we replaced him with FVV. No, not a big deal, not a problem.
Yeah.
Nope. What? Who's this Lowry guy?
Oh,
So it hasn't changed your mind then? You still think VC?
Yep.
I for like Lowry had. It took him a long time to be what he was too. Like the numbers that Van Vliet is putting up now are almost the exact same. And it took Lowry a lot longer to get to these numbers in the system. So like to me, like, and he had a lot of decent players around. And Air Canada, I don't think had a lot, and he was our Kobe. Like that's what I think of him. I think the only issue with him was he was the only guy on our team and he was hurt. And as much as I'm chirping Lowry right now, I still think he's probably number 2.
I mean, VC had Chris Bosh. That's not nobody.
He was hurt a lot though when he was playing with Chris Bosh.
Like VC was, or Bosh was hurt?
No. VC was. And that's I get you kind of can say that. And at that time it was still like driving the lane a lot too. But yeah, Lowry really didn't take off until he was like 27. Like he was here for a while. And for a point guard, amazing, especially for the Raptors. And yeah, your buddy Peter's not here to help you with this. It's just me and Kev against you. But I thought VC, what he did, man, was phenomenal.
Yeah. So I turned the TV on just before we started our show today, and of course I put the Raptor game on, and I recorded the beginning of it because I wanted to see the tribute.
For Lowry, for sure.
For Lowry, yeah. So, because I'm not listening. I'm watching the games here, but I'm not listening. So it'll be interesting to see. He was, I thought actually, I kind of thought he was going to be in tears when they did the tribute and whatnot. It didn't seem like he was, but he was very receptive of the crowd. And from what it looked like, the crowd was going fucking nuts. And like,
as they should.
If I was at the game, I wouldn't have a voice. Like second half, there's no way I have a voice left.
Like as much as we like I said, I chirped him, but I still think he's like, you could honestly argue for me. Like I know he said number 2 before, but it's 1A and 1B for me. That like I think Lowry was huge. He got us a championship, and he was around. He had the length too, right? He was around for a long time with the Raptors, and that's why he has that GROAT pedigree.
One other thing with the Raptors boys is I don't know if you noticed, but they're in 5th fucking place right now.
Yeah, you said that this morning to me, and I was like, "You mean tied?" And you're like, "Nope, game and a half." I was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, and they're playing like obviously they're playing Kyle Lowry, which is against Miami. They're winning currently against the number 1 team. That's huge. And they're
are they the number 1 team right now?
Miami is. Before today started, they were. So
oh wow. Because they've been like switching, like
it's been crazy. The top 4 has been fucking all over the place, so it's been wild. It's been a wild finish here to the season with the movements up and down in the standings. But
hey, with 6th and 5th,
yeah,
and 7th, you can almost argue, but we're well ahead of 7th now.
Hey, considering that we weren't supposed to do a whole lot this year, we are, in my opinion, we have exceeded expectations, and we shall see.
So I have a question for you. Do you think he said what's his name? The GM.
Masai?
Oh yeah.
No, Masai's the president of the GM.
Oh, well, he still runs that shit.
It's Masai, yeah.
So do you think he said to Tank to get, and he's like, I know my guy, fuck Jalen Suggs, I want to get Barnes, kind of thing like that? Like
No, I don't think he would ever say fucking.
Because these guys have been like crazy good. Like they started off really good, and then they hit a rough patch. Injuries happen, and like it's wild. Like I agree with you completely. Like, we weren't supposed to be in the playoffs. We weren't supposed to be sniffing the 5th seed here.
Exactly. No, we weren't supposed to. But the trade for Gary Trent was fucking phenomenal. Now that was.
You and me were both were
yeah.
Was it? Yeah, we were upset that
I was because I'm like, who the fuck is Gary Trent Jr. And you have that
chemistry.
And it's like it's Norm, right? Like he won a championship with it. It's Norm. Like you can't get rid of this guy, and and it worked out phenomenally for us. And then Masai knows what he's fucking doing, man. He really does. So.
Now one more thing here, guys. Since you're wearing these caps of yours,
yeah.
I should have put mine on, but I got my marker here. Blue Jays opening day is less than a week away. Guys, it's going to be on Friday.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. Jays made a trade today as well, swapping catchers with the White Sox with Reese McGuire and Zach Collins.
I have no idea who Zach Collins is.
He's a catcher for the Chicago White Sox,
I
but he's now for the
out,
Toronto Blue
thanks,
Jays.
But do you actually know anything from him? What pedigree does he have?
He sits behind the plate.
Solid analyst of that.
Okay, so basically what I get out of this trade is Reese is a little better offensively, and he probably, because he's had more experience in the bigs, he's probably he's a better fit for the White Sox to back up Yasmani Grandal. So I think that it's a better fit for them that way. Reese also doesn't have any minor league options anymore, where Collins does, and he can be sent down freely, and that's going to be where he ends up right now, as he's going to go to AAA. And so we lose a little bit in terms of offense and defense with Collins, but when you look at all the depth that Toronto has at catcher, Reese wasn't going to get a whole lot of playing time to begin with. And because he didn't have options, he's got to sit on your bench, and it's not usually good to have 3 catchers on your bench. 2 guys is pretty much what you want, and if you've got guys that have options, then great, right?
Yeah, but we were gonna roll with Kirk as the DH probably at that point too. So it didn't really bother me that we had 3 catchers.
I mean,
for me personally, like, who are we bring? Like, is Collins going down then? I'm assuming like
Collins will go down. Yeah.
So who do we bring up?
I don't think they're good. Well, it probably won't be the catcher, because the other one is Moreno. So, and he's not ready yet.
Yeah,
so,
he's not ready. But
no.
But we gotta. I thought we were rolling with Reese being that last guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm confused on who's coming up then, or who's.
Yeah, I'm not sure who they're going to promote or what have you. I mean, my guess is probably a pitcher of sorts. Probably a bullpen pitcher.
Okay.
But I this trade happened a little earlier today, so it was there hasn't been a whole lot of news from the fallout from this type thing. But so basically, this is just it's basically because of the options. That way they don't have to hang on to Reese up in the bigs all year, or he would have to clear waivers and whatever else. So that's not it's not a good.
I personally like Reese over Jansen. Personally,
I don't mind Reese. I think Jansen is good defensively, and that's it.
Like that.
I think Reese could do the exact same thing defensively.
Especially with more playing time, I'm sure he could. But evidently the Jays thought that it was better to move him and get a guy that can play more in AAA. And again, we're still talking about Moreno, and Moreno is probably going to make his debut at some point this year. Might maybe be in September when you get all the extra players allowed, but I think that he's going to be up eventually this year, which really that pushes Kirk to DH 100% at that point.
Yeah, because Ryan Tapia is not taking that. Like that was the thing that pissed me off about that trade so much was
Tapia's the number 4 outfielder for us, so he ain't going.
Yeah,
anywhere.
but Grichuk is better than Tapia.
Grichuk.
Yeah, but apparently Gritch was bitching and moaning about his playing time, or the upcoming playing time, because he knew he was the 4th guy, right? So that's what I heard anyway. But so anyway, this isn't a major deal here, but it helps us out with the minor league options, and cash wise, I'm not sure what contracts were for. I'm assuming Collins is probably
that was the thing about getting rid of Grichuk was you saved a bunch of cash.
Yeah.
And because I've already started the rumor mill with the Brady and Bruce Arians, I'm going to say this too. Because Canada doesn't allow you have to be vaccinated to play here.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing saying that he was vaccinated or not.
This is true.
So he could have been one of those guys that had been traded for that.
Yeah. Actually, talking
That's what
about
we're-
that, about the
that-
vaccination thing, that's an interesting topic there, because there's been a lot of fucking teams crying about, oh, well, we might not be able to bring half of our team. Well,
Too
sorry,
fucking bad.
sorry about your fucking luck, bud.
Take the loss.
Like,
No remake. We're not going over there to fucking play you for a remake.
well,
that's-
and how many, like, the Blue Jays had to face so much fucking adversity playing in Tampa, playing in Buffalo as a home team, and
the
moving all
last
the
2 years.
Yeah, and we got no fucking sympathy from anybody. So fuck these guys that are crying because
You
and
can't come to
you
Canada.
can't come to Canada. Like, we got to be we have to be vaccinated to get into the US. So
Why
like,
can't you
what's
be
the fucking
vaccinated coming
difference?
in? Yeah, dum dums.
And there, same conversation is going on with basketball right now, especially for the playoffs, because there's, Kyrie can now play in New York, but if he were to end
can't
up
come to
playing
Canada.
they ended up playing in Toronto. I don't know if that could ever work out, depending on how the bracket shapes
Pretty
up.
much the
But-
Raptors and the Nets need to go far into the playoffs.
Right, but what I'm saying is that a team like that may not be 100% vaccinated. You might not be able to bring all your players to Toronto. Too fucking bad.
Right.
That's what I have to say about that.
We've missed enough games because of this
Yeah,
stupid pandemic,
Exactly.
and losing Gridget over that, like, it pisses me off because I still think like his bat is great in the Rogers Center.
Oh yeah.
Going to Rockies Stadium will help him huge.
yeah.
Still,
For sure.
it's just as good as the stadium hitting home runs there. But
Do you think he starts in center field, or probably not right field because of Blackman, but like, I'm pretty sure Garrett Hampson is the other center fielder, and left field is likely going to be Chris Bryant.
oh, yeah, we talked about this before.
Yeah. So do you think he starts in center field, or do you think he's still the fourth guy there?
He's going to be starting no matter what, somewhere in the outfield.
So likely in center field then, because
Yeah.
I don't like. I heard that Blackman was hitting leadoff, so that means that he's going to play every day still, even though he's old. as
He's
fuck.
probably going to be hitting like fourth or fifth too. There, Colorado's team is garbage.
Who's that, Gritch?
Yeah,
Gritch will probably he won't be that top. Like, I could see Brian hitting 3, just because he's probably their best player.
like I'm pretty sure Gridge hit a 30 home run one time, and he can probably hit that again,
Especially there.
in Coors
Yeah.
Field.
Well, so that'll be it'll be interesting to see how that off the hop, it's gonna look like Colorado wins that trade all day because of who Gritchick is and for what we're
But
getting
again,
back. But
We save money and we've signed a lot of people lately, a lot
Yeah.
of big names.
and I mean, the hell's a good Tapia? He's a speedy motherfucker. So like, he's gonna be a great guy at the end of the game to pinch run, that type of thing. And then
What do we need runners if we got home run hitters? That's what you guys keep on saying. You don't
I
need
know,
someone
but
on
like,
first.
you still
got
need
home
that
run
guy that
hitters.
can make it from first to home too.
Yeah, first
So-
home on a double or even on a single.
So I can see that he's
God.
not like I understand what you're saying because we've said that. I agree with you. He's gonna probably get a pinch runner, Yosh, but he's like Kev said, he's not stealing. He's there to run from first to home
Yeah.
after off the wall, or it's gonna be a home run.
Yeah, that I don't mind the pickup when it comes down to it. Like I said, the cost saving thing of getting rid of Gritch and adding Tapia isn't going to be horrible. And
See, I'd rather Gritch it, but who knows what everything else is, but that's just me. There's no cap here, so and on my team in the NFL, they don't give a shit about the cap either there. So
They'll pay the fine. Fuck it, we'll fine. We'll just pay the fine. Fuck that.
well, you start losing draft picks, I think, if you go over the cap there. But hey, the Rams know when they fucked up. Like, they had golf, and I think they were still paying Gurley, who didn't play last year, and they won the Super Bowl. So
Well, thinking about fucked up shit there, Jess, how about you throw us into this box?
all right, so the Philadelphia Flyers decided to end the Iron Man streak here for Keith Yandel,
idiots.
Fuckers.
and he wasn't even hurt.
He was a healthy?
He was just garbage.
He was a garbage scratch.
No, man, he is a healthy scratch versus Kev's Maple Leafs, because Peter's not here, they decided to end the game or end his streak at 989 games, 11 shy of 1,000. Man, that would be quite the milestone.
One of.
Yeah.
It's too bad,
And-
really.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
man.
really is too bad, especially since Phil is really behind him and he played a shift and then left right away.
For a baby.
Yeah, so Arizona is on board to keep his streak, alive for a shift. Now I understand that the Flyers are, they want to see what they've got in some of their young players, so they would need a little bit more ice time. There's also some vets that are likely looking for a payday, so they need to play it out the last 12 or 14 whatever games they've got left. So I can understand that it is a business. I get it. But man, 11 games, like you're doing nothing. You're a Philadelphia fucking garbage Flyers. Like just fucking let him play for the rest of the year. He's probably not going to get re-signed. He only signed a 1-year contract, so he's likely going to be forced into retirement because nobody's going to pick him up. So just give this man the fucking 1,000,
Just 30 seconds, man. Just put him on one shift, get him the fuck off, and all right, see you later.
I mean, that helps with the ice time of some of the other guys you want to see, but it still keeps one of your young guys up in the press box, right? Because you can't switch him out like halfway through. We get, okay, well, Yano played his 2 minutes, and now we'll bring in some other Joe Blow, like a young guy or whatever. You just can't do that, right?
So
Not
did
mid-game.
the Coyotes then play a man down because Kessel left?
They did. Yeah. Because you can only
Yeah,
have so many
they have
guys,
to.
right?
Yeah, you can only dress so many people.
Yeah.
Right.
So
And he had, like I said, he's been playing garbage. He's got like a negative or minus 39.
that's horrible.
Really, really bad. So like
That's fucking
he
bad.
like I can understand where the Flyers are coming from that he's been playing really bad, but at least get his game his 1,000. Get him to that triple
Yeah, man.
quadruple digit kind of.
That's what I thought too. And like it's not like he's making a shit ton of money. Like he's making like, I don't know, it's like 900 grand or something like that. Like I think it might be the league veteran minimum type thing. Like it's
League minimum 750, so I
is
challenge.
it? All
It's
right.
not 900,
The
750.
league veteran minimum is what I
Oh,
said.
veteran. Oh, okay, so my bad.
But no, I'm just saying if you,
Good
yeah,
try.
I'm good with it if you
Good
want to
try.
challenge me, but I did say veteran. But anyway, it's just shitty that they, it's not like if they were fighting for a playoff spot, then okay, that's a little bit different story, right? But if they were fighting for a playoff spot, then likely Yandel is a part of that. And when he's a minus 39, he's not part of fuck all.
He's part of watching the puck on the in his net.
Yeah. So. All right. So one thing that I forgot to go over while I was talking about the NCAA is our our March Madness bracket update. And so, as mentioned before, Jesse has Kansas to win the whole thing, and he is the only one of us that has any potential correct picks left. So as it stands right now, Jesse and I are tied with 35 points. Jesse has Kansas to win. So if Kansas wins, Jesse will win the bracket. If Kansas loses, which is exactly what's going to happen to UNC, then Jesse and I will tie for first, and we will both end up with 2 points.
Won last year and win this year.
No,
I gotta keep that streak alive
No.
of picking winners.
no,
Just winners.
no,
Just keep picking them.
no, not happening. Carry it on though, Kev. You had Villanova versus Kansas in the Final Four game. You really needed that W, which would have put you at 35. Jesse would have been at 34, and Jesse would have been out. But instead, you have the 34, and
Nope.
you're out. So
I'm okay with taking the 0.
you will finish in third place.
or
no matter what.
or a 1 or a +1 if you guys tie.
No, you won't get a plus
Oh,
one.
so I still get a
You,
0.
no matter what, you
I
get a
got
0. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not
And-
last this year. That's good.
That's right. And our boy Pete, who's on his way back to Ontario from Newfoundland,
Takes the
he
minus.
was out a long time ago.
A long time.
He's got 33 right, and we'll take the minus. But we will update those portions of the scores next week because we still have tomorrow night's game. Now, we only had one challenge today. Well, 1.5, and then I guess this last one too. So maybe we had 3, at least 2.5. Now I did find that the league minimum is $750, but it doesn't really say if it's I thought there was a veteran minimum and like a rookie minimum, but maybe that's just in like pretty sure football has that, don't they? Where it's
They have a veteran minimum.
Yeah. This is the NHL, sir, not NFL.
No, I know, but I'm just saying. So actually, entry level contract is actually more than.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It can be. You could have that in the NFL too.
So it looks like I might actually be taking a minus here.
Because I only saw 750.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no such thing as in the NHL as what I'm seeing is veteran minimum.
Veteran,
right? Yeah, exactly.
So you didn't even know what you're talking about.
No, I did not. What?
The guy that like usually does nothing about contracts or anything like that, just like 750.
Yeah, for sure.
Because that's what
he asked it. He probably called up them and like, how much would it be for me to play?
No, Spezza's always take the league minimum. That's a guy who keeps on sitting there saying, you know what, I'm just gonna play. I'm gonna give you guys money to get the people who you need to play. You know what I mean, to make us better.
It's pulling a Tom Brady. Except Brady's actually good still.
I mean, Brady never took the minimum though.
No, but he would take cuts.
He would tell other people to take the minimum.
Yeah, so he did take 900,000. Then obviously it is not the league minimum. So we ended up at a fucking zero today.
I mean, Josh, don't worry. At least you're gonna get at least a point with the March Madness.
I'm getting 2 points, bud.
You're getting a point.
All right, so the Coach K, the Olympics, that was the first challenge. Kev said 2.
Yeah, actually
and I ended up after I had debated whether it was 1 or 3, I went with 3.
Good thing I did.
100%.
Again, we still don't know if that was the heart or the head.
Right.
He said the gut.
So that put me at a +1, Kevin a -1, and then just in our penalty box there with the league minimum, Kev was right, as it is 750, and I thought the 900 that Yandel is making this year was the veteran league minimum, and there isn't even a veteran league minimum in the NHL. So it shows you how much I know. And that is that's our update for this week. If we go into the season totals, Bitch Peter is at he's just at 0.
I mean, you had the bitch beer tonight too. So.
I know. Kev, you're even today, so that keeps you even.
Woo! I don't need any more minuses.
At -8.
All right.
Jess, you were a bitch and didn't say any challenges. You stay at +2.
I wanted a challenge too on that 60 game thing. I'm glad I didn't, because I was going to say, yeah, someone's got to reach that too. But there was a couple misses too on Kev's part there on that too.
Yeah, for sure. And then I was +1, -1, so I have 0 for the day, which keeps me at -4. So no changes over the season, but at least we got a couple challenges in this week, boys. We didn't all take a minus. The show is called Points and Penalties, so we got to make sure we get fucking some challenges in, guys. Oh, we did it this week.
So while you're carrying on there, Josh, you might as well talk about your bitch beer today, bud.
All right, so again, I had two beers from the same brewery, different varieties as they came in a multi 6-pack, and so
both lower than both of ours.
They were 100% both lower. So the first one, again, is from Wavemaker Craft Brewing and Tap Room out of Cambridge. First one I had prior to halftime was called the Warrior. It's a Quebec IPA with Amarillo, Mosaic, and Idaho 7. And it is a 6.3%. It's got some fucking like night looking guy, and he's got a beer in his hand. It's pretty cool fucking can. I like it. It was a good tasting beer, a little bit citrusy, but not crazy. Probably not as much as Jesse's. And then my other second beer was a 5.4% unfiltered lager, just a pretty standard old lager. It's a beer mug with a fucking wave coming out of it because it's Wavemaker. You see what they did there?
Yep.
Pretty tasty, but just your standard old beer. No complaints there. And I'm currently working on a backup beer, which is number 4 for the show. Now, Who was the bitch? Oh wait, I was the bitch. Who's the next bitch?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, fucking Mr. Masters. Why don't you tell us about your beer?
Green one
The green one.
with a log in the middle.
It looks like a log.
It is a Woodhouse Brewing Company double IPA with a 7.8%. I liked it, man. I mean, at one point when I drank an IPA,
They're growing on you, man. They're growing on you.
now, man, they're all good.
Still won't drink them like normally, just only on the show. But
That's right. That's right. You know me.
I like that one that you got there. Like
It was
it was
good.
a good beer. It's
It is
for
a
sure
good
it's
beer.
good. It's potent too. It's just not potent for P&P.
It's not as potent as yours though today, bud.
No,
What-
it was not.
What were you drinking?
I was drinking Awkward Moments from Job Site. I did
With a
not have
little
an
plumber
awkward
crack?
moment. What?
With a little plumber crack?
Yeah, the plumber crack is right there.
Yeah.
I mean, like, what's wrong with showing a little ass? Like, it's not an awkward moment.
it is if you have a fucking leak.
Yeah, takes the cake here today, boys, from Job Site here in Stratford. And I think it was 9.1. I need that 0.1. I like it. As I said before, it was fruity,
Very fruity.
very fruity, but I did enjoy it quite a bit. And I definitely will be heading back to Job Site to get one of these.
Sweet. It's good times. I like just a name a job site. I'm a tradesman. It makes sense. It makes
you're
sense
always
for
on
me.
them.
Yeah, exactly. It makes sense for me. Job site.
You know what we need here? We need to get a beer called Job Site.
That's right. I have to travel to Stratford to get it though. Do you know if there's anywhere else, or are they just like local, just right out of the brewery?
I think you can get in the Lickbo. Yeah. I'm pretty sure. I don't know which brands you could get because when I went there, I definitely went looking for some high alcohol content ones, and this was definitely the highest one. But I went with the other IPA last week, and that one was really good and solid. They do have a few light ones, and I'm told to get them, but I probably won't bring them up. She was trying to talk me into them, like, yeah, like I like the more potent stuff.
It's all right. My old lady's got me a 4.5% one in the fridge. I'm like, I can't drink that.
No, I'll drink that right now.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'll drink it now, but I can't do it on the show. So. Anyway, guys, for the two of you, myself, Pete's traveling. He's going to be back next week, hopefully, unless he gets delayed again and again and again. Who knows with his travel plans here. But for all of us at Points and Penalties, we'd like to thank everyone for listening. Please subscribe on YouTube and wherever you get your podcast. If it's YouTube, it's right down here. I know you can do it. You can do it. Click it. Click it. Give us a like and follow. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Points Penalties. And until next week,
stay out of the penalty box.